Hello students, and welcome to the second introductory video into using Scratch. Today I've started with a fresh clean slate, and we're going to start using the arrow keys on our keyboard to control the cat. And by the way, if you have a different animal there, that's fine too. So for this one, we're not going to use move 10 steps. I know that might come as a shock to some of you, but we're actually going to start down in the events area. So go ahead and click on the yellowish events. And the second one down says when the space key pressed. When space key pressed. And that's a really weird choice. So let's kind of walk through what that means. So when the space key is pressed, it's going to want us to do something. And we actually don't want the space key, but the little triangle, the presence of a downward facing triangle, kind of shows us that this is a drop-down menu. And holy smoke-de-doodle, there's a lot of choices there to choose from. So let's just start with a right arrow. Okay, so right from the top, it was the third or fourth choice down, the right arrow. And so when the right arrow key is pressed, what is it that we're going to try to accomplish? And so let's go back to our motion area. So I do want to move 10 steps, but that's not the right block for this, and I don't have time to explain all of the reasons why, but so you'll just have to take that on faith. Turning in different circles one way or the other doesn't sound like what we want. Going to a random position, nope. Going to a specific position on the screen, nope, that's not what we want either. So we kind of have to go down a fair little ways, and you get down to some that say change X by, set X to, change Y by, set Y to. So if you're in this section, you're in the right place. And so a quick little discussion about X and Y. You can see over here on the grid, it even has X and arrows going sideways, and Y and arrows going straight up and straight down. So the way that this is mapped is that if I take this cat and move it over, I can move it to specific locations on the grid. And so I'm going to move it to 0, 0. And 0, 0 just so happens to be dead center of the screen. And so as I move it across, you can see here that the X is changing a whole bunch. Somehow I've moved it down too much. So the X is changing a whole bunch, and the X is changing. It's adding numbers. And so if I want it to, every time the right arrow key is pressed, I'm going to want to add numbers to the X, and that is called change X by, and you can see that there's a number 10 filled into the white space. So I'm going to grab this change X by, and I'm going to attach it into the little script here. Now, the crazy part about this is that that's all I need to do. And now when I click on my keyboard, so let go of the mouse, take a look at your keyboard, find the arrow that's pointing to the right, and just click on it. And all of a sudden my cat is already moving in that direction, and I only used 2 blocks of code in order to accomplish that. Now here's a weird part. Here's a weird part, not gonna lie. I want it to, with the other arrow, to go back the other way. Now I could go and practice my choosing and go back and get the when this key's pressed and get another change X by. But there's also this really awesome function or feature where if I go to the top key and if I right click, so not regular click, but if I right click on it, there's 3 choices. One of them is called duplicate. And so if I duplicate that and then just move my mouse around, you'll see that it's now attached to my mouse waiting for me to click to put it down, to put the duplicate down. So there's the duplicate. I'm going to click one time and put the duplicate down, and I'm in awe. Like, this is so much easier than having to go looking for them. So hopefully you've done that. And this time I don't care about the right arrow. This time I would like the left arrow. And if you do this, notice we didn't change the numbers at all. So if you click the left arrow or the right arrow, they're both taking it in the direction of right. So our left arrow, there's something wrong here that we need to fix in order for the left arrow to make the cat move left, or to make the animal move left. And the trick is that you actually want to subtract that number. So over here, when it says change x by, we've been adding 10 to the x value over here. So let me just put that back to 0. I'm just typing in 0 on my keyboard and pressing enter, and the cat came back. So over here, I really want it to go in a left direction, which is going over this way. And when I let go of my mouse, you can see that there's negative numbers down here, and it's negative numbers. Oh my goodness, it's a whole lot of negative numbers for that x value. All right, so I'm going to send it back to the center. So I'm going to type in 0 and press enter, and I'm going to go back to this one and type in 0 and press enter. So now it's at the center. So when I click the left arrow, instead of positive 10, I'm going to change that to be negative 10. Sometimes people call it minus 10. All right. And now if I try my arrows, the left arrow goes left and the right arrow goes right. And I'm really starting to feel good about this. For now, let's call that success and call it kind of a dancing, moonwalking cat. And we'll get ready for a little more complication the next time. Thanks for watching.